What's going on, guys? Steve here with Cherry Picking Cards. I am back with a mail day / PSA submission video. I'm super stoked. Always, of course, excited about mail days. Those are the best day of the week. But for my PSA submission, it's my first ever go around with that. I actually found a guy through Instagram who's very reputable, very good at what he does, and he actually gives you a really great deal and specs everything. I'll make sure to leave a link down below in the description so you guys have an idea who that is, and I'll go more in depth when we see those cards. But first, I'm gonna start with a mail day. Didn't get a ton of stuff. I got one package off of eBay, and it was pretty much just a mixed lot of some Prism color, rookie color that is. You guys know I'm a sucker for that. Not any huge names, unfortunately, but some guys that I've noticed, I check the box score pretty much daily just to be able to keep up with who's doing what. And some of these names kind of stood out a little bit, guys that have had some moments. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what they do the rest of the way. Near the end of the season when, teams start to rest certain players, their stars, these guys will get more action. Summer League, these guys will definitely get a lot of action. So stay tuned for that. And this guy's actually one of them, Jalen McDaniels. He doesn't play a ton, but when he has, he's scored, in decent amounts. So, and then this guy right here specifically, Jordan Poole, has definitely done some really good things, especially with Steph Curry and Thompson sitting out, and then them trading Russell. So it's allowed him to be able to shine a little bit more. He's got double-digit scoring games, back-to-back, I think multiple games even. So I'm pretty excited about getting some JP in the collection, and then Tremont Waters, just another one of those rookies to look out for. And so got some of the red, white, and blues, and then the green parallels, which honestly, if you're not going to get silvers, this is probably the next best one to go for, other than those numbered ones, just because these are super short print. Jordan Bone hasn't done a whole lot, but Pistons, like I said, you just never know with some of these guys. And then Kevin Gale, he's actually not done too bad. He's big time rebounder, that's for sure. And then behind there we got a Justin James, and this guy I don't think he's even played at all, to be honest. And so I'm looking forward to seeing if he even does finally get on the court and does something. And then got another one of him. Now we get to the pinks, the pink cracked ice. So yeah, Prism's definitely got some really good parallels, as you guys all know. And pink, I'm not the biggest fan of. But honestly, they're cool. It's definitely cool to add some of these to the rainbow. And some of these guys, I've also got, some of like the red, white, and blues, like this guy. I've got like his green. I think I had his red, white, and blue now, and then an orange. So just various other ones, but I didn't have like these particular ones, oddly enough. And so I'm not going to have any duplicates in my collection. So I was pretty excited about that, just to be able to, start, working on those Prism rainbows for some of these, I don't want to say lower tiered guys, but guys that just, haven't made a big splash just yet. But Jordan Poole, pink. So definitely got some good stuff of him now. Tremont Waters again. Keldon Johnson. So a couple guys that we didn't see in some of those other colors. And then a Jalen Noel. So pretty excited about that. Prism rookie color is always exciting. You definitely can't go wrong with that. And I paid very low amount of money. And this next one is going to be a pretty good package. It's one of my buddies off Instagram. Yin Yang Breaks. Yin Yang Car Breaks is his account name on there, but his website is Yin Yang Breaks. So check him out. I'll also have a description down below. He's really great because he'll allow you to buy into like 3 or 4 or 5 breaks, just depending on what how many cards you hit. And then he'll let you pay a one-time shipping and then just send, the 5 breaks all at once or whatever. And I think that's what we did here. We got like 4-ish, I want to say. And I know I also bought into a football break, but he hadn't had a chance to sort that yet, unfortunately. And so that'll definitely be one to stay tuned for, and then some other NBA Optic. And I think that's pretty much what all this is going to be, the 2019 Optic. There might be something else in there, but I think it was mostly just all kinds of Optic that I bought into. It was before I had a chance to get my hands on any, so I was just super eager to buy in and just get, great rates and, the potential to pull some good hits. And I like how sometimes he does let pick one team, get 1 random or 2 randoms, just depending on what he paid for his boxes. But yeah, he gets a nice variety. And so we had some of the Target mega boxes, and so we'll get some of the purple shocks. We had the Walmart mega boxes, so we'll get some of the hyper pinks, and then just everything in between. So, and I honestly don't remember all the teams I got. I think he does keep them sorted by team. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, 8 teams over a couple different breaks. So definitely looking forward to see what we got here. The Pelicans, I'll start with that. That was the one where I actually got them in a random, the only time it's happened so far, and was just looking for it because he usually pulls some serious fire and has pulled quite a bit of Zion stuff, but this was one of the very few where it didn't quite happen, unfortunately. But definitely got some cool stuff. Got one of those purple shocks here, and I haven't had a chance to open the Target mega boxes. I personally think they offer, you know, better variety with these purples. They have more cards, and I'm just not a huge fan of the pink ones, but still cool to be able to get your hands on any kind of optic this season, especially. And then we also got a James Harden purple shock. So that one's actually really sick. So I guess this might not necessarily be just the Pelicans. It might have a couple of other guys. And then we did get a hollow Otto Porter Jr., so that's pretty cool looking. Lonzo base. And this was the one that really got me, because like I said, I won the Pelicans in that random, and we saw the hollow, we saw the rookie, and then we even kind of peeked to their side and saw the Pelicans, and it was a big drum roll. And then when he lifted it up and we saw that name, I hadn't even heard of this guy. You know, after the break, I instantly went and looked him up, and he's not half bad though. Honestly, he's, you know, I think he's gotten some double-digit scoring games. You know, he's one of their bigs, and you know, with Zion, you know, just now coming on, you know, he still has to kind of film when Zion's resting. So I'll hold on to that just to see what happens, because like I said, he's got some potential. And I think he's from overseas, if I remember right. Yeah, from, oh my gosh, I'll let you guys see. That's where he is originally from. Didn't put up big points, you know, overseas, but you know, he's done all right for the Pelicans, and they're in the playoff hunt right now. And it looks like we got the Lakers, and that was another one. I think I actually picked these guys. Nobody had bought them yet, so I figured why not? You know, the potential to pull anything LeBron is going to be huge. And then speaking of that, we got a T-321. So yeah, really excited about these LeBron inserts. Winter stays. Rondo. And then got, looks like a purple hollow with a winter stays. Kareem. I'm really curious to see what the blues look like. It'd be nice to be able to get a comparison, just because, I mean, it does look purple, but I think the blues are kind of that navy color, so it's kind of hard to tell the difference, but I'd be, like I said, curious just to hold them up next to each other. And so, yeah, we definitely got a lot of hits, that's for sure. Rookies, I mean, I like how he sends all the base, but, you know, I've only got a couple in the base pile, mostly just going to be some hits from what we're seeing. Yeah, this one's definitely a really cool one. Kabengele. Express Rain Lou Williams, another Lou Williams. Yeah, I really like these purple shock quite a bit. Just a cool looking parallel. And if you pull a Zion with that, that's going to look super nasty. Fantasy Stars, Kawhi. A couple more base, Paul George and Kawhi. I really like that mirror background. That just looks super cool. Especially, you know, if you get like a checkerboard or something like that looks really sick. Nice. This is the purple hollow Kawhi. Pretty sick looking. Honestly, I don't know. I just kind of go back and forth on which inserts I like the most. Splash right now is kind of my flavor of the week. Those just seem to kind of be one of the cooler looking parallels. And then it looks like we got the Thunder in this one. And so yeah, definitely with some of the randoms. Not always going to be one of those teams that everybody's chasing, but you know, somebody's got to land them. And got a rookie, Baisley there, so I'm pretty excited about that one. I feel like that guy's got some potential. He's one of those guys that elected not to go to college. I think he did some kind of a pro circuit or something and just trained for the draft for a year. And we'll see what he does. Keldon Johnson, Ignis. So it looks like we got a couple different teams. So it looks like he might have mixed some teams together, which I don't really mind at all. I'm just grateful for the fact that he's got them all sleeved up. Some of those bigger hits and top loaders. And if you get a massive hit, he's definitely going to put it in one of those one-touch mags. I've seen... some other people get some huge hits, and that's what he sends them in by mail, and takes good care of these cards, that's for sure. And then Pascal, Hyper Pinks, and so yeah, now we're getting into the other mega here, the Walmart exclusives, which I don't think they go for quite as much, honestly. Less cards, and just honestly, I don't think, you know, I think people prefer the Target ones for sure, just because of the shocks. Then Kawhi T-321, Kabengele, and then Jabari Parker. Hyper Pink, and then behind him, Cam Reddish. So definitely a good hit for sure. Centering doesn't seem to be, actually looks really solid on this one. So I didn't get a chance to factor these cards in for what I might send into for my PSA submission, which I've got, you know, a fair amount, so that's okay, because it's a pretty lengthy turnaround on those, you know, to get your cards back, as we all know, no matter who you go through, unless I think they might have expedited where you pay a bunch of money, but I'm not even considering that, of course. As slow as they are, I don't think it would help much, but I'm pretty excited to get those out the door, and I'll get a chance to assess these new cards, anything else I pull. I've got lots more optics, so stay tuned, and then be doing some more PSA submissions in the near future. And then, of course, getting the results back. So I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe button if you haven't already done so, because, like I said, we got a lot playing, that's for sure, and I want you guys to be able to enjoy it with me. Let's see our little rated rookie. And then back here we got a hollow Hassan Whiteside. Definitely not the biggest name, but man, that hollow with that background, that mirror style is just super sick. It allows the rainbow to really shine through on there. Yeah, so definitely a cool looking card. I've got two more here. Let's see. Looks like we got a lot of Spurs action. Kawhi, winner stays. Oh yeah, so I forgot we did do an 18-19 Prism. So one of these was a mixer. This was super exciting. I don't think we pulled any Lucas or Trays if I recall right, but I did end up getting the Spurs and did get something out of there. Lonnie Walker Emergent. And this guy, remember he had a, it's kind of one of the big names last year for a while, but then just kind of faded off. But you never know. These guys, sometimes they just play in waves and you just got to time it right. All right, last one here on our break. And like I said, I'll make sure to put a link down below. If you're looking just to search him on Instagram, it's Yin Yang Card Breaks. And then he has a link in his profile to his page so you can bind to the breaks and all that good stuff. Looks like some of that cardboard I'll have to get off out of there. Ignis, Julius Randle, this guy's having a monster season. Definitely, undervalued, that's for sure. Keldon Johnson, and then we got a Jared Allen hollow. Yeah, this looks cool, but I definitely like those other ones where you've got that, like I said, the mirror style. Kind of get this all straightened out here in a second, but yeah, so definitely, some pretty fair hits in there. This pile definitely much bigger than our base pile, so I'll definitely take that any day when you get that many hits compared to just some base. And yeah, usually his breaks are going to be like $10 or less, sometimes a little bit more, but he's doing multiple boxes, and it's Prism and Optic typically are the only ones he's done. He's done some other stuff like Donruss, but everybody's preference seems to be, the big boys in town, Optic and Prism every year. And so this is what I've got for my PSA submission. I've already got it. I'm going to put it in this to keep it protected. I'll get it, one of those water-resistant, tear-resistant bubble mailers. Maybe even put some more bubble mailer around this. I don't care. I want to keep everything extra protected. And what I'm doing is sending this to Clay's Cards on Instagram. His name's definitely blowing up out there. He's, just one of the best in the business at sending off cards. He gets one of those bulk discounts because he sends in just probably thousands per year, just thousands and thousands of cards, and so he's able to get a much better rate than if you did it as an individual, where you're paying, I believe, 20 per card, and then I think with him you're going to pay 11, just depending on the value. Of course, if you have one of those big ticket items, it's going to be more. But he'll let you know ahead of time, and he'll also assess them. He'll look them over. I don't know how much cleaning he's going to do necessarily, but he's definitely going to look them over and let you know if it's worth your time to send it in or not. And I'm going to include a little note of mine if it's going to not get a 9 or better. Please send back or don't send at all to the PSA. But I'll show you guys what we got here. We got a Kobe White, green. And so I'm definitely not sending, like I said, all my stuff. I wanted to do about 20, 25 cards. Some of the names that are getting to, be a little bit bigger, some of the top rookies. Kobe White's just been on fire, had back-to-back 33-point games, which were career highs, and then the next night he topped that with 35, so just on a roll. And then Garland, who's been very consistent all season. And one of the other things I want to mention is I really kind of look these cards over, and I'm not the best when it comes to centering. Honestly, I feel like I've gotten a lot better with time at just looking at them over and just doing research and just listening to other people on YouTube that open cards with their advice. And I feel like I've got an idea of what to look for, but that's why I'm going to take his feedback and just kind of use that to get better when I'm looking over the cards in the future. But I definitely looked over everything as much as I could to make sure there wasn't the big scratches or those print lines or things like that. And then in corners, especially corners, and then making sure there wasn't any of that white stuff that's exposed all around. And so if you see any of that on the edges, pretty good chance you're not going to get a 10 on there. And so I scoped out as much as I could, but we got a red, white, and blue Jarrett Culver, red, white, and blue KPJ. This dude has been on fire too, and his name's blowing up a little bit, but there's a lot of other guys that are still kind of getting more attention than him. So I'm definitely looking to add some more of his stuff to my PC. So stay tuned for that. But this dude, before I go any deeper into this guy's stuff online is going crazy. And I did a video about a week or so ago, I forget, a couple weeks ago, where I did a mail day where I picked up this guy hiding in the background here, a PSA 10 Jason Tatum. Looks like it's a little blurry. We'll pop it on the camera here, but man, sick. And this has a pretty low pop report on PSA. I think it's like 100 and some, versus the Optic, which is like a couple hundred more, like 300 or something. I forget the exact numbers, but it was like at least like twice as many compared to the Donruss version, which I was like, man, that just, and even if you look on eBay, there's very few of them right now, but I paid $15 ship for that thing. And I think I saw some people, the ones that are listed, going for like almost 60. So it's in a matter of like 2 weeks, that thing basically tripled in price. And so I was like, wow, that was definitely a good investment on my part. And I don't know if I'm going to sell it, honestly, because I have a feeling, he's only getting better with each game, it seems like. And, the bandwagon's getting fuller, so I feel like I'm just going to hold on to it a little bit longer. But I am going to send these other ones off, and I've got some select stuff, which is, a hobby exclusive box. And we got the Concourse. These ones, I'll be honest, it's a little bit harder for me to kind of eyeball it and tell what centering is going to look like. I did my best, and like I said, I'll use what Clay says and hopefully get some good feedback and just some good guidance as far as what to, look out for going forward. But we do got, and I believe this is the premier level. Yep. This one, I think the centering on this one might be a little bit off from what I could tell. Kind of, this one's a little bit more, on the left versus the right. Then we got a Jason Tatum Optic. And speaking of Optic, and so I figured, why not just send this in? If it's not going to get a 10, it's all good. But yeah, these things. Well, that thing I got for 15 was going for those were going for 23 to 25, and I regret not picking one up now. I was being greedy, thinking I could get it for about 20 if I, hold out on an auction, but didn't quite happen. And now they're going for like 60 to 80. It's just like, man, it's just crazy how that stuff can happen so quickly. And then we got another Jason Tatum, the Status. Then on to my favorite guy this year, my favorite rookie out of the 19 class, John Morant. We got a yellow Absolute. We got a base Prism, and I have a couple of these. The other one I knew was just way off on centering. You could clearly tell. This one I felt like at least has a chance, so I went ahead and just put it in there. These ones, honestly, I'm not 100% sure how you tell on centering. Everything else to me looked pretty solid, and it's a parallel. Figured why not? If I can get a 10 on that, I would be super stoked. So we got some John Morant, we got some Jason Tatum, we got some Prism parallels in there, and we got this guy, Luka. You guys watched me pull this not too long ago, the Blue Velocity. Centering looks pretty solid on there from what I can tell. Everything else looks great, of course. I sleeved it almost immediately. Got it in this top loader right away. And that's one of the things I like. You don't have to send it in those semi-rigid cases. You can use top loaders. He wasn't too picky on that. I by default put him in these top loaders, and so I didn't want to have to mess with pulling them out, and just repeatedly doing that, potentially hurting a card on the corner or the top. And so I'll let him do his thing, just put him get him out of the top loaders. But we got a Darius Garland Blue Velocity, so it looks like we got some of the Blue Velocities here. And I pulled a few more of them, of these guys that are not going to be in this lot, but I figured I'm just going to send, the guys that are, like I said, having the most attention and the biggest games and, filling up the stat sheet the most. But we got a Culver, Jackson Hayes, and this guy, Kobe White. Man, I'm a huge Bulls fan. They've been down on their luck for the past few seasons, but I feel like the things could be turning around. Last year's draft class was okay. This year, pretty solid with him and Daniel Gafford. Curious to see what he does. He's had some okay games. But Lauri Markkanen from a few years ago, that 17 class, definitely undervalued. That's another one of those guys to look out for. I think one of the other things that helps spark, the price increase, for guys like Tatum is just, obviously he's doing well individually, but his team is on fire. So if you're playoff bound, I think that's definitely going to help. As far as if you guys are looking for little tidbits on, who should I invest in? I'm definitely not the guy to go to, I'm being the expert, but I've had some luck with Devontae Graham. He's a Jayhawk, and I got real lucky with him last year and picked up a ton of his stuff for practically nothing, of course. And this year, sold it all off and made a pretty nice penny back on my investment, so I was pretty excited. But yeah, just look out for guys that are having, progressively getting better on the stat sheets, especially with the points. And then on their team, are they hot as a team overall? Because, if, their team's doing well, they're doing well, and just everybody's wins in that case. And now on to some football stuff. I didn't have a ton of football I was going to include here, but just some of the bigger names, more so parallels than anything. So I'm excited to see what happens. Baker Mayfield, I know this guy kind of fell off last year, but you never know. Maybe he's just kind of one of every other year guys. We'll see what happens. But this is the green playoff, and I didn't actually open this on camera. Unfortunately, I opened this box. It was a blaster off camera. It didn't have any massive pulls, but I figured the ones that I did get rookie wise, I'll give it a go. And I also got this guy, rookie wave, Josh Allen, hollow. I'm pretty excited about that. Pretty clean looking card. Centering might be a little bit more, towards the right here, a little thicker on the right, but top to bottom looks pretty good. So I'll give it a go, see what happens. And my guy, McCole, Chiefs. How about them Chiefs? Yeah, this one's a pretty nasty card, the red, white, and blue. Just that shine in the background. Of course, he's a champ now, so got to get my guys graded. And this one, that I believe this is this the checkerboard? I forget what this parallel is called. It's not the checkerboard, but it's a pretty cool looking insert. That Elite Series rookies out of the Donruss. And of course, got to send off my Mahomes. I honestly don't know if it'll grade as a 9 or a 10, excuse me, it might be a 9. But even those, like getting this raw, I think I paid like maybe 30 bucks for it. And then, but seeing it as a 9, it's like 75 all day on eBay, maybe more, especially when they won the Super Bowl. This stuff was insanely expensive. I think the night they won the Super Bowl, these were going for about 75. Some people were paying that much. It was just insane. They've definitely came back down, of course. But, Steph, they're up higher than they were before he won, that's for sure. And so I think they're only going to steadily continue to climb. And I want to get it graded. I don't plan on ever selling this bad boy, but I'm curious what the condition's like. And behind him, we'll end it with a silver instant impact to Saquon. Once again, not sure quite, telling on the centering other than just looking at the lines here and just seeing if they look pretty similar in size. But figured I'd center it in. It's one of my better rookie cards for football. Definitely not a massive hit, but I really like this guy. I feel like he's got tons of potential. Just has to stay healthy and make sure Jones out there is feeding him the rock. But all right, guys, and also one last thing. Back here we got. Definitely don't plan on keeping this up. I just figured I'd throw it up for now. This is something that Clay does want you to include if you send in. It's just maybe a little index card, put your name on the back, Instagram account on the front. That's that's typically how people contact him. So this way he's able to keep everything organized. So I'm going to include this with it all. That way he knows who these goodies belong to, and then I'll put them in my nice little bubble wrap here. And I'll get in a nice bubble mailer, get it all sent out, and then just stay tuned. I don't know what his average turnaround time is, especially with him, sending in so much stuff. He quotes 45 days. That's what PSA quotes. I've heard people say like 6 months. So I honestly don't, I'm not holding my breath on anything. I'm just going to be excited about the day that it does come. He's one of those guys that when he gets the shipments in, he keeps everybody updated throughout the process. But he also goes live on Instagram and does a reveal. So if you want to be able to, if you just can't wait and you want to get a chance to see what you got right away before it comes in the mail, he'll reveal it to everybody. Or of course you can just, keep waiting and sweating it out and see what you get. But I appreciate you guys, watching the video. Like I said earlier, please make sure to subscribe, help the channel with the growth. I really plan on doing lots of videos, and I want as many people to be able to get to see these products, and that way you guys can see what they look like. Drop your opinions in the comments below. And if you haven't already, also follow me on Instagram, Cherry Picking Cards. I appreciate you guys. I know this is a longer video, but we had lots of good stuff here, and definitely stay tuned for lots of more good stuff. But till next time, take it easy.